Hi, it's Noelle CoStar here from NoWellness.com, coming to you on this big powerhouse of a day. We have the new Moon Total Solar Eclipse. And so I'm going to do a reading and I'm going to share with you a little bit about my energy insights and my take into what's going on. And I'm also going to do a you pick. So you can choose 1, 2, or 3 and get a special message just for you for this month of April. Now, so we want to talk about, we're here on this powerhouse of a day at the end of an eclipse corridor. And this is a super new moon. So the moon is closer to the earth than usual anyway. And so the effects are going to be more powerful, right? This eclipse has brought about an opportunity for change, and it's going to impact the whole rest of the year in a very powerful way. Okay, so there's lots of things coming up, old paradigms, old ways of thinking that really need to be examined and released. There's a lot of disrupting going on to our patterns. So, what I've seen across the board is a lot of people having almost, I don't want to say a repeat of COVID, but bouts of sickness. The energy during the Mercury retrograde so far, that started last Monday. Okay, so that started in the middle of this eclipse season. And what has been happening is so much information, so much star downloads from, the heavens are coming in. And boy, we have been tired. We have needed lots of extra sleep. Dreams have been so intense. And the reason why is because we're taking in a lot of information. Maybe you don't understand it, and that's okay. But we're taking in all this encoded information so that we can expand and be the new resurrected version of ourselves, the new way to live, right? Really releasing some of the things that have been causing us harm in the past. So one of the things that's really trying to be happening here is to get us in alignment with our true selves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do our first reading here. And this deck, the Enchanted for Hoxa Tarot, was gifted to me at Christmas time. And I have never read publicly with these cards so far. So this is going to be my first ever time. And I wanted to just say, if you are somebody that is interested in learning how to read tarot cards, if you are somebody that already has some cards and you get the book out every time you do it and you'd really like to be able to just do a reading without looking up everything, I have a lot of really great resources. If you go to thetarottribe.com, all one word, and you can get my guide of how to do an amazing reading, a video tutorial, as well as a guided meditation to get you in the zone. So hop on over there and get that if it's for you. And if it's not, that's totally okay. If you just like to get readings, that's what I'm here for. And so if you want to ever have a private reading with me, you can go to NoWellness.com and book your reading right online. And we would get to spend a whole hour together just chatting about you. All right, so I'm asking for the highest good of everybody who is going to watch this video. What do we most need to know in the month of April? As this energy, this Aries energy is unfolding, and it's really egging us on to change and move in all kinds of new ways. What's coming up? What do we most need to know? 420 is going to be another powerful day. And not just because it's 420, you know what I mean? But because There's going to be a lot of endings around this time, and Mercury goes direct on the 25th. So that whole week and the week after, I feel like are going to be this whole month really, but the beginning and the end for sure have a lot of power attached to them. And really it makes me feel like things that we're working on now, things that are going on in this month, how are you behaving? How are you interacting mentally and emotionally with what's going on in this month is going to be kind of how the year unfolds. Okay. So, all right. I love to always do the readings live. I don't like to pick the cards beforehand because I like it to be fresh. I like to look at it directly when I am doing it live so that, you know, my instant reaction is what you get. Okay. So the first thing we have here is we have the Four of Air upside down. So over the next couple of weeks, you know, this is going to be a time where you feel like you come out of this tired cycle. And like I mentioned, if a lot of you have been having different sicknesses or different things that are plaguing your family or you, like just getting a cold and it taking you out for a week or getting the flu, or, you know, maybe even COVID again. If these things have been happening, it feels like it's been taking up a lot of time. And like I said, disrupting your patterns. And so it's made you and forced you to rest more. And that's okay. Even if you haven't liked it, it's okay. It's been for your good. And we're coming out of that cycle now. And so it's going to feel like there's a lot more energy. And it's going to happen very fast. Here we've got the Knight of Air. And, you know, this deck, this almost looks like a hawk above her. She's like putting her arm out and a hawk is landing. And I love what this is saying because to me, this is just sounding like so much like, okay, messages from heaven are coming in. It's, are you paying attention and receiving these messages? So much psychic vibration. And I guess the best way to put that is that we're all psychic. We are all intuitive. We are all spiritual beings having a physical human experience. And you can't stop that. And so while we have a physical body, we also have an energetic body. And that energetic body is always interpreting and receiving lots of vibrational information. And we call that being psychic. Okay, but it just means that your discernment level is a little bit more turned on, where you're paying attention to these things that are coming in. And so this is what's happening. The frequency is being elevated, and because of that, we'll be able to hear and perceive more guidance. And so pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to your dreams over these next couple weeks because they're really important. Okay. And then we have here, we have another 4 and another upside down 4. Okay, 2 upside down 4s. So it might feel like upheaval. You know, I feel like there's going, like I said, endings are coming. And whether that's being an ending of like, hey, I'm selling my house and I'm moving, or I'm just finishing my lease and I'm moving, or I just finished my job and that's not working out any longer. There's a lot of things that are just culminating to end things. So I want you to not be surprised and shocked. I mean, I know sometimes it's hard to not be disappointed or to not feel the sadness or the grief. Let yourself feel, but also know that this isn't the end. This isn't the last happiness that you'll have. So, you know, even if it feels like a forced ending, maybe an ending of a marriage or a relationship, or maybe you don't want to leave where you're at, but you've had to. You know, look at it through the lens of something good is happening for me here. And I'm not sure what it is, but because I know right now the energy is trying to move me into alignment with my true self, then sometimes I have to say goodbye to other things that are not that any longer. And so I know it's hard to reframe when we're in that situation, but I do feel like, and these cards, you know, they're all like almost like moths or something in the deck. But it's like this chick is like in this little pod, and it looks like they're all in the pod. Okay, so while it almost looks like somebody's waking up or being born this way, in this situation, it's whatever's happening is not going to is disrupted. It might be an ending or not really going to be birth. That's how I perceive this card anyway. But like I said, endings. But immediately after that, the sun. The sun. And so it does feel like after this period of time, we also have the Ace of Water. Looks like a giant white dove coming in. So I want you to understand that, yes, there's a lot of change. Yes, it's happening fast. Yes, you're getting a lot of information, and it can even be like, you know, disturbing on your psyche. I mean, obviously kids, my daughter's woken up several nights in the last couple weeks with nightmares and stuff like this. And so I know that it can seem like, whoa, I'm getting all these dreams. I have no idea what they mean. Number one, you can always book a session with me and we can figure that out together. I do dream interpretation. Number two is you can interpret your dreams also if you really sit down with the journal, write it out, and ask what is this dream trying to tell me? And you might get answers during your day. So the month of April, topsy-turvy, full out, going to ask us to change. Things are going to be different, and some things are going to end. And it's all okay, because at the end of it, there's an opportunity to have more joy, more peace, and to really feel like you're birthing something new that's more loving, that's more aligned with the true love in your nature. Sometimes we're just in these patterns where we're maybe not in love with our life anymore. Or some of you may have never been in love with your life, and that's a shame. But I know that it's possible. You can always decide to start creating a life you love anytime, no matter what happened to you before. Your past doesn't have to equal your future, and your past doesn't have to take over your present either. So, all right, right now, pick 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. And if you haven't liked or subscribed to the No Wellness YouTube channel, please do that. And for sure, please share this video with a friend that may want or need a little reading in their life right now. Okay, so 1, 2, or 3, and I'm reading from the Runes for Modern Life, also a deck that was gifted to me several years ago now. But right before I got on and I was going to do this reading, Spirit kept bringing me back to this and said, do the pick 3 out of this. So, okay, I will. I have to listen to Spirit, right? Okay, so number ones, if you picked number 1, let's see what card you got. Taiwas. So there's a bunch of people cycling and they are going uphill. So the message here for April for you is that, you know, you're going to be putting a lot of work and effort into something. And it might feel like an uphill battle. It might feel like, man, it's tiring to do this. But I also, get the team aspect and the cooperation aspect of this card. Like, You're going to be doing this together with somebody. And I just feel like this is going to be kind of exhilarating for you. So let's see. I'm going to get the little book out here too to add. But it's interesting because there's snow in this card. And I know we're having some crazy weather right now with up north having even the snowstorms that are going. So I don't know if you have plans to travel or you are up north experiencing that, but I think it's interesting because there's part that's not and part that is. And it looks like there's storms in some of the sky, but some of it's clear. So I think that, you know, like I said, you're going to be moving along, but you're exerting a lot of energy and force right now in your life. So hopefully, all right, Tiwaz, the sun, which is interesting because we got the sun in the last one. Okay, this suggests passionate leadership, and it suggests that there is a need for self-sacrifice. But if you can find the strength and the self-discipline to work for the benefit of all rather than just yourself, you will reap rich rewards and the respect of others. Victory is indicated here, and you need to be proactive, not reactive. Now find the courage within to take whatever action is needed to achieve your goals. Don't just take action for the sake of taking action. Though as this card is a warning against rashness, be cautious and open your mind to the opinions of others. And so, yeah. So it's interesting because for me, I feel like I said, it feels very much like there's some kind of need to exert a lot of energy right now. And it's so, you know, sometimes you can be the leader from the back of the pack. It's understanding in your mind, you know, who am I going to show up as? What intention and energy am I going to put into this? And, you know, do I want this to work out? Because if the end game is for it to work out, then no matter how hard it's getting, no matter how winded you're getting, you can stay the course, you know, especially if you have other people in your corner. And so I feel like there's a team effort for whatever you're doing. And I do feel like you're going to be successful at it. So just keep focused throughout this month. Don't let yourself kind of go into maybe headbutting, if that makes sense, with the people that are in your team or in your surroundings that you're trying to accomplish something. Like, let yourself, even if something rubs you the wrong way, let yourself view it from a different viewpoint and ask yourself, okay, how can I see this through somebody else's lens, you know, before I react and get upset? Because being a leader requires at times for you to let things go. Let things go, okay? All right, number twos. If you are a number two, this reading is for you. Oh, okay. What did we get here? We got Laguz. Laguz. We got some turtles. He's on a surfboard in the sun. Okay, so one of the things for sure is it's important for you to get to some water, you know, reflecting. So right now I feel like you need to get more in touch with your emotions, and sometimes just hanging out at the pool for the day or hanging out at the beach. And maybe if that's not in your wheelhouse to be able to do, maybe just take a bath. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to connect, take a salt bath, put some salt in your bath, and just chill out, get off the phone and get in nature and just look around and reflect and notice your feelings. Okay, this card to me is saying like it's important for you to notice your feelings because, like I said, this is a very psychic time and it feels like there's going to be, while this person, number ones, you guys are harnessing more of this energy, fire energy, action, doing. This person here, number two, you're in a different place. The action is to chill out. The action is to watch. The action is to be in tune and meditate and kind of get in touch with your emotions. So that can feel sometimes like, am I doing anything at all? But yes. Okay. So this card represents the universal emotion, both positive and negative. You're being encouraged to go with the flow. Tears can be very cleansing. Emotions should be acknowledged and openly expressed. Don't hold back. Allow yourself to feel and live your life to the full. Okay, you're being guided by your intuition, and this card associated with renewal. So, part of this is, it also talks about meditating. Part of this is knowing that in this still time where you're just, maybe you don't know the answers to do next. Maybe you want to do something next and you're like, I don't know what it is, but I do feel unrest in my life. Sometimes just having that movie that you watch that makes you bawl your eyes out, you tap in. And it changes your perspective. And the next day you feel different or renewed or have more energy, like something purged from you. Because sometimes we need to have that cry. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we need to just go take a dip in the ocean and be cleansed by the salt water and reflect and just take some deep breaths and chill out. And in doing that, all of a sudden the floodgates of what to do next open up that we couldn't hear when we were busy. Okay, so that's my advice to you is don't hang out in the house and take a nap. No, like go out, be at a park, be it somewhere where you can chill out in nature and reflect. Even if you're taking a walk in a city center that's got fountains and stuff like this, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, number threes. All right, number threes, are you ready? Here we go, number threes. Number three, Manaz. Okay, Manaz. Sure looks like they're at a concert. So, maybe for you, you have some plans this month to see a show, to go to a concert, to a music festival, something like this. That would be awesome. But more importantly than that is this card is asking you to connect to your humanity. It's asking you to really touch base with the part of you that most wants to. It's almost like, what are your unique talents and gifts that can contribute to the whole? Like when you're at a music festival or when you're at a concert or something like this, and you guys are like all jamming and everybody's got this heightened energy. And when you're on that heightened frequency, people feel more connected. They're like, oh, I just met you, my best friend, da, 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 da. And so there is more of a sense of unity, right? So this to me is saying to you, how can you be in that space when you're not actually in that space? How can you decide, I can love on people? What are my unique talents and abilities? How can I contribute to the whole with that? And it feels to me like in doing that, you're going to have more fun. You're going to be more connected to fun and joy than you are right now. Okay, so let me look up here, Manaz. Manaz, humanity. So this is saying that it celebrates everything about humankind, what elevates us, our intelligence, our compassion, our creativity. It is the symbol of the collective consciousness. But this card is strongly associated with self-awareness. You are encouraged to think about your attitude towards others and what your unique contribution to the world is. What assistance or service can you offer? There may be some conflict between your beliefs and demands and expectations of your family or society. But if you continue to deny your true self, you'll feel even more isolated. Now, again, like I said at the beginning, the energy that's happening right now in April is that we're not going to be able to look away from our true self. We're going to have to acknowledge the self-sabotaging shadow patterns that come and wreak havoc in our life. We're going to have to acknowledge who our true self is, who our true identity is, and step into that more. And so it feels to me like, you doing this, you really looking at what can you contribute? Like, what is in you that, sometimes we think it has to be like, I went to school, I got good grades, I got this job, and now I'm here and I'm on this mill and I'm not really that into it. I'm just making money to live, and living ain't that great. And so we're in a cycle, and it feels like it's time for you to just take a beat and connect into, and maybe you do have to go to a music festival or a concert or do something fun to connect in with that part of you and to wake that part of you up so that you can go, okay, even if it starts as a side hustle, even if it starts as a hobby, it doesn't have to be your life's work. It can be something that starts off as a trickle that turns into something so much more. I definitely didn't know when I was 19 years old and I bought my first pack of tarot cards that this was going to turn into something that I'm doing as a career. That was not even on my radar as something that, could be real. And over the years, as it just progressed as something I loved, it became an outpouring of my life to share it with other people. And, the Reiki also totally by surprise. I had no intention at all to be an energy healer. And yet here I am, years later, have done thousands of healings. And it's just incredible that sometimes a hobby or something that you get a zest about, where your life force energy runs forward and you get this rush of excitement, that's saying this is for me. When you feel the contracted feeling, and the contracted feeling usually comes in with logic. And your logic is only going to take you so far. That's the whole point. Your intuition, your imagination can take you everywhere, right? All right, I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic solar eclipse. And just so we're on the same page, no, I do not believe that the solar eclipse is the end of the world, but I do believe that it is the end of lots of negative patterns in our lives. I do believe that right now, lots of things are shifting for planet Earth so that over the next 40 years, there can be an enormous amount of change. And I know that seems like really long, but look at 40 years ago. I mean, TVs were enormous. There were no cell phones. People weren't using microwaves, never mind an air fryer and all the things. There's just so many things. So much has developed in the last 40 years. And so I believe that we're in this process right now, the stirring of the pot, the shaking the things up so that stuff can be left behind and we can become new and be reborn during this time. So I love you, and I hope you have a great month of April. Make sure you're taking your time. Mercury's in retrograde. Don't get frustrated. Double check your communication with people. Just gives you an opportunity to do that. Okay? Bye.